Hey everyone, thanks for joining me. I've got a one product review for you today and it's on the Revlon Brow Fantasy, which is this, and I believe it's new. I've never seen it before, and I would say I go to Boots or Superdrug like at least twice a week and kind of just browse and see if there's anything new. And yeah, I just sort of noticed this. It wasn't very well advertised, but it was sort of stuck away with, in fact there was no advert at all for it. I just saw it and thought, well, I've never seen that before. So I had a look on the website to kind of learn all about it and, you know, find out how to use it and all of that. I can tell you that there's 3 colours in this. It comes in a blonde, brunette, which is what I've got, and then dark brown. So it's good that there's a really dark colour and it's good that there's a blonde. What I do find though often, and this is the case with this, is that sometimes the brunette is a little bit too dark. So there's brown and dark brown, and then there's blonde, and I often find there's not that colour in between, which is, I guess, like not a taupe because that's too grey, but do you know, like a light brown. It's great if there's a light brown. However, I've used it today and it is okay on my brows, absolutely, but I do like something a little bit lighter if possible. Like the dip brown and auburn is fine. So anyway, 3 colours like I said, but at the moment something to note is there is a 3 for 2 in Boots on all of the makeup, and it's across everything, so including number 7 and Revlon, and that's really good, I think, because this is £6.99, but then if you get 2 other products you'll only pay for the 2 products. So yeah, £6.99, and it is a pencil one end like that, and then on the other end it is a brow gel, and it's got a tiny little brush like that. So it appealed to me because, not that I've been struggling with brow products, because I really like my Makeup Forever Aqua Brow and I really like my Anastasia Dip Brow, but I have been thinking about getting a brow gel recently, because although I put my Anastasia Dip Brow on in the Makeup Forever and they fill in my brows and define my brows, they don't hold them in place. I've noticed the Anastasia maybe a little bit more so, but I've got long hairs on my eyebrows here, even though I've got thin eyebrows, and they can go, if I show you, it's harder to do it now because I've got this gel on it, but they can kind of drop in that I've got hairs then showing here and kind of as if I've brushed them downwards. So I thought, well, I might want to get a brow gel, but I'd actually, the one that I really like is the Cava Brow Tamer, because it's not a brush, it's just one that you kind of put on top. But the only thing about that is I had that put on when I was having my eyebrows threaded, is it does make your eyebrows feel crispy, but I'm not sure if there's a way to avoid that if you want to kind of hold them in place. And the other thing is I just thought maybe I'm just going to use a spoolie and some hairspray, and I hadn't yet tried anything. So I saw this and I thought, well, I'll try this out. It's a new product. I can do a review for you guys and I can see what the brow gel is like on this. So the instructions on this are that you are to use the pencil to fill in your brows, and then you use the brow gel to set it, and it is a tinted brow gel. I don't know whether you could see that. I'll do a little swatch of this colour so you can see, because I would say for a brunette this is actually quite dark. And you can imagine then how brown the dark brown is. Actually, it doesn't look that brown on camera, but I think that that is already dark brown, certainly medium to dark brown. So that's the colour. So I have used it on these eyebrows here. I used it this morning. I found it easy enough to use. I would say that the pencil is a little bit hard. It's not a soft, smooth pencil. I'll give you a swatch of it there. That is more of a medium brown, actually, I think. But it's not super soft, but neither is it too hard. So I was able to get little strokes, but I find a pencil difficult to use on my eyebrows unless it is really soft and really fine. So I used this, and then after using it for this sort of bit here on both brows, I needed to sharpen it already. So I sharpened it and then used it again. And that means that this won't last very long, because you can see it's only, you know, there's only a small amount there. That's about how big that pencil is. And if you need to sharpen it every time you use it, then it's not going to be, that's going to run out pretty quickly. But then again, the pencils I do like are like MAC's Lingering, and I like Clinique Superfine Liner, the ones that are already fine that you don't need to sharpen, and they don't last that long anyway, so that may not be something that bothers you particularly. So like I said, I find it difficult to use a pencil for my brows, I think, at the moment, because I've got a lot of space to fill in, because without filling in here, there's a big space here, and there's also a big space here. So yeah, I was saying it's a little bit difficult for me to use a pencil unless it's really, really soft and really, really thin. So I used to really like the Superdrug Be Groomed, I think it's called, pencil, and I do really like it. I really like the colour. It's in hazel, but it's one that you have to sharpen a lot, so it doesn't last very long. I would say that it's probably about the same kind of feel as this, about the same, you know, softness as this, but it's a better colour for me. But I do like the fact that this comes with this brow gel on the other side. I've just noticed that that does actually pull out, but it does hold on there certainly, and it is nice to hold and grip to do like that. It does make it quite easy. Now the only thing is, on my Superdrug Be Groomed pencil, not on the Clinique or the MAC, but on the Superdrug Be Groomed, it's got a little brush on the end to brush your brows into place before you start filling them in, and this doesn't have anything like that. It would have been really good if there was some kind of spoolie or brush or something on it somehow, and there isn't. And what I needed to do was use a spoolie to brush through my eyebrows first, to then start filling it in with the pencil. And I didn't want to use the brow gel first because that was for setting it. I suppose you could do it that way. You could use the brow gel first and then fill in any sparse bits with the pencil. But I think then it would, you'd just end up getting some of the liquid on the pencil and it'd make it all a bit messy, I think. But the hardest thing to do was to get a very precise brow, I would say. But if you want more of a natural looking brow, I know my brows can never look perfectly natural because there isn't enough hair there, but I think this is more natural than my usual defined brows. Then I think that this would suit you very well if you don't mind sharpening it. And then there's the brow gel, which I have found really, really good, I have to say. I didn't know how that would be, and it does make them stay in place 100%. I wore it all day yesterday and my brows didn't move. I didn't have that little hairs kind of dropping down, you know, but they weren't super, super crispy. You know, it wasn't like I sprayed hairspray, and I'm feeling it there, and it is a little bit there, but not as much as with that Shavata brow tamer that I mentioned. They just seem to stay in place, and I wasn't aware of that kind of stiff hairspray feeling. I do remember actually in the evening I kind of was touching my eyebrow and I thought, oh, why does it feel like that? And then I remembered that I had this on, but that's quite good because it means I couldn't feel it without actually touching it, and that reminded me that I had put a brow gel on because I don't usually use one. So my thoughts overall are that I'm really impressed with this. I can't remember if I told you the price. It's £6.99, which I think is really reasonable. I think they probably could have got away with putting it higher than that, you know, because it's got the two products on. So I was pretty pleased when I saw that it was £6.99, and especially as it's Revlon, because Revlon aren't known for being the cheapest, you know, so I think that's pretty good. Yeah, so I'm pretty impressed with it. I wouldn't say that it's made me want to throw away or not use my Anastasia Dip Brow or my Aqua Brow, but I think that's just where I'm at the moment, wanting a really defined brow, and it's a lot quicker and easier for me to use those two products. So I'm not about to switch to this, but I'm not going to give this away because I did quite enjoy it. And I think what will actually happen is I will keep this in my makeup bag, and I think I'm just going to use the brow gel, and I can see me repurchasing it for that reason. It depends how long it lasts. I'll see how long it lasts, but I like the fact that it's got that tiny little brush on it. And I had thought about buying the Benefit Give Me Brow it's called, but that one's quite expensive. I can't remember exactly. I think it's maybe £16, something like that. Actually, the lady put it on me in the shop and I didn't really like the effect of it. So I think that this one would be better. I didn't feel like my brows looked particularly thicker with that Gimme Brow one. I felt like they looked a bit kind of unnatural, just a bit odd. And I think a couple of people have said that. I know that's not giving it a fair chance, but this isn't a review of that. I'm just saying that I had considered that as a brow setting gel, but instead I think I'm going to use this. I'm really happy with this so far, and that's what I think I'll use out of this. So I hope that was useful for you. I've got a few of these kind of reviews coming up of products that are in the drugstore, kind of new at the drugstore things that I thought I would just do a review, a separate review of, so that you know, people can look up a review of that particular product and know exactly what it is I'm reviewing, rather than just reviewing a few things. And then if you were wondering about it, you had some kind of details on it. Apologies if I seemed a bit flat in this video, but I had the day off work sick yesterday, which is very unlike me. I'm not off sick at all from work. I think I've had like one day in the last year, but I do get migraines very badly, and usually I get them when I'm off, but I had one yesterday. And when I say I get migraines, it's one that these ones have been called suicide headaches, and I can totally understand why, because the pain is absolutely unbearable. And I woke up at 4 AM and had the pain, and I took everything under the sun to try and get it to go away, and it didn't, and I ended up just taking enough drugs to knock me out. You sleep for a few hours. I kind of know the pattern because, like I said, it's happened to me a few times before, these particular types of headaches. I always have a headache, but these particular headaches are extremely bad. And you sleep for a few hours, and then when you wake up, the pain is then bearable, but you still got a headache. And then by the end of the day, you feel just kind of a bit groggy. And then today, I kind of feel almost like I've got a hangover. That's what it feels like. So it sort of stays with you, and I still don't like too loud a noise or too bright lights. Like these studio lights are kind of bothering me. But if I stopped doing videos every time I had a pain, you know, then I would never do videos. So I just wanted to say, though, apologies if I seem a bit flat. I'm sure I'll get my kind of mojo back soon. So thank you very much for watching. I hope that that was useful for you, like I say, and I will speak to you again in my next video.